What is Ohm's law? Ohm's law describes the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance. When you apply a voltage across a resistor which has a certain resistance, say R, current is created, and this relationship can be expressed in this way. Now, why is the resistance created? Well, if you are passing electrons through a material, the atoms inside the material try to hinder the movement of the electron. So the electron, since it cannot pass directly through an atom, it has to find other ways around the atoms, and this is why resistance is created. In many cases, the relationship between voltage, current, resistance is often explained using the analogy of water flowing through a pipe. The voltage would correspond to the pressure of water, and the current would correspond to the amount of water flowing per second. The resistance would be the width of the pipeline. So the smaller the width is, the higher the resistance would be, because if this width gets smaller, if we apply the same pressure of water, the amount of water flowing per second would decrease. Now the relationship V equals IR can be used in so many ways. Since I equals V over R, and since there are times when we need to limit the amount of current because large amount of current can burn the whole circuit, we can use this formula in a case like this. Say we have a 20 voltage supply and we are using this to power an LED. Now normally you wouldn't do this because you don't need this amount of voltage to power an LED. Now if this was the case, you would burn the LED along with the whole circuit. But if you add a resistor, using this equation, the amount of current would be reduced dramatically, and you would be able to power an LED successfully. Now you can also use this equation to get the exact amount of voltage from a fixed voltage supply. Now say you have a circuit that looks like this. A voltage supply that has 10 volts and with two resistors. Now what will be the value of current flowing through the circuit? Now using the voltage divider, I equals V over R, the value would be 10 over R1 plus R2. Now, using this equation again, using this value I, since this voltage right here, the voltage at this point would be I times R2, right? So if we put this value into I, we get this value. And as we can see here, by manipulating the value of R1 and R2, we can get any amount of voltage between 0 to 10 volts. And these are only the few examples of the many usage of Ohm's law.